Hello everyone, this is Infamous.sevens, this is a Precinct project, and I'm here with Mosesinss. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's alright. Right now it's 4:52, we're in London, and let's start out with some general questions. What are your sort of like inspirations?
I'm inspired by like a lot of photographers. I'm also inspired by like movie producers and directors and stuff like Quentin Tarantino. Mm-hmm. Like his movies like really inspire me in order to like go out and shoot and stuff like that. Definitely, man.
Have you got any sort of like photography inspirations?
Photography inspirations. Guys like Vincent Chapters,
yeah.
Boogie photographer.
Boogie, yeah.
Gordon Parks, obviously. Like he's probably like my all-time favorite.
Okay. When about did you start shooting?
I actually picked up a camera about a year ago. I started off as a designer in Marc Ecko in New York, and then sort of like got into photography shortly like after.
Was that sort of part of the Marc Ecko's job to pick up a camera?
No, it was actually I was actually like a full-time designer there, and I slowly just got into like photography after seeing like one of the first photographers I actually seen was Anthony Nicholas from New York, and he was like shooting a bunch of stuff, and I kind of like looked into that and like really liked it. I also seen like 13 Witness, obviously. He's like a pioneer, you know, like for everyone else.
For a lot of people, yeah.
Yes, so after seeing like guys like him, I always wanted to do photography. I knew like that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, so what sort of element of photography pulled you in?
Elements?
Like what was it that
really,
sort of...
I would say like lighting and stuff like that. Like that's probably like the main thing for me. You know, like how good like, you know, the lighting and stuff like that is.
Yeah.
And like not just lighting, also like different characters you also like come across like daily basis.
Yeah.
So that really like attracts me to like photography.
Okay. What would you say was your sort of like most common type of equipment that you use while shooting?
While shooting, I actually have like right now like I'm using a Canon 6D. But some of my favorite lenses would probably be like a 35mm and a 50mm. Definitely a 50mm would probably be like my, if I had to choose like one lens, it would definitely be like a 50mm.
What kind of camera would you recommend to maybe a new photographer?
Well, I started off with like my first camera was just like a little compact camera, but then I got like bought a DSLR. So best thing I would say is you'd probably like start off slow. If you just start up with maybe just a regular DSLR. I started off with like a 1100D and slowly shot with that for about 7 to 8 months. And then when I got comfortable with it, I knew like I was ready for like the next step to get like a full frame camera. That was,
So maybe you just don't jump into sort of the deep end with...
one advice I would probably give to like everyone is always shoot in manual mode, man. Yeah. Manual mode, definitely.
What are you up to now in terms of just your general knife and stuff?
I'm just currently like freelancing.
Yeah,
just freelancing like with different brands and like companies and even like individuals. I'm just out here like working with like whoever I can when I can. I also do like other work outside of like photography, like designing and illustrating and stuff like that, and like painting, and I'm just like into like general like artwork. Yeah, man.
I've seen that you've been quite a lot in, you know, London shooting and stuff like that. Where are you like originally from?
New York, yes. Born in New York. Moved to London about 11 months ago. So yeah, I love it here, man. It's really it has like I think it's underrated, like as a city. Like a lot of people basically like the London-based people do like underrate the city. I mean, they're always talking about like other places, but London definitely has like its own style.
I don't think you'll ever sort of like appreciate your own sort of city until you're away from it and those sort of aspects that it brings anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate like that's home, you know what I mean? Like I appreciate like New York and stuff. Yeah. But this is home too, man. Like I really love this city. It has like its own style and just everything about the city, man. Maybe not the weather.
Yeah, the weather isn't, but that's part of it, you know. It's part of the package.
But it comes with it though, man. Maybe not the weather. Yeah.
The little moody city. So what sort of brought on that transition for you to go from New York to England?
I actually have like family in a different city, like outside of London, and I always wanted to also like live in London also. So I just wanted to experience like somewhere new, like that was something I was looking into, like doing sooner or later. So I'm glad like I made the move and like took that opportunity to like come here, and it's been good so far. So hopefully like it just continues, man.
Yeah. Did you always want to be a photographer? Is there anything else like you wanted to be, like in terms of like what you know before you
Yeah, hell
doing the
yeah. Like I do
freelancing?
well currently like I'm doing like 5 different stuff basically. I do like design work and illustration stuff like that. And I mean I started off at Marc Echo as a designer. So that's also something like I like doing. And painting and stuff like that. So it's not just like I don't want to limit myself to like photography only
Yeah.
when there's like so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
So I don't want to limit myself to like those like art forms either. I mean I want to expand like beyond that and like do other like work too. As long as it's creative and like it's intriguing and like it just keeps me thinking like that's all I want to do. Like I just want to express myself.
Yeah, okay. So, where do you want to be in terms of maybe your design or your photography in 5 years' time? Are there any long-term goals?
Long-term goals, man. To be fair, man, I'm gonna just keep it real. As long as I got a roof on my head, that's all that matters to me, man. Like, as long as I can support myself and maybe that family too. That's all that matters to me, man. I don't need like a big house or 4 cars or anything like that. I mean, that's all I need, man.
What if you did have those like 4 cars?
That'd be cool, man.
You're not gonna complain.
Nah, hell nah. I'd love that, man.
I don't know who would.
Hell yeah. I'd love that, but yeah, man. God bless for like just I'm good. I'm happy with that, man.
Where are you looking to travel in the future?
Tokyo. Definitely.
Yeah.
Tokyo. That's man, I read like a lot of comics and all this stuff, and I watch like a lot of manga, and it's just somewhere like I wanted to go like forever, man, like just the longest time. And I think, man, I don't know, man, like it's just, it has like, I don't know how to describe the city. It's just like something about the city that just kind of like attracts like everyone, I suppose.
It's like a vibrancy.
Yes, and like all those like neon lights and all this stuff, like it's just crazy, man. Like it's really beautiful. Like and the Shibuya crossing, man, that's crazy, man. Yeah, that's definitely one city I want to go. I mean, I want to go like other places in like Africa too, man.
Yeah.
Like where my parents are from, like Djibouti, like Ethiopia, and these places. I mean, I can get like different sort of photography, like what people like used to seeing in like a Western world.
Yeah.
Like what they like.
So like that exposure.
Yeah, just something really different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like gritty, but like in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I mean, there's like a lot of poverty and stuff like that there. So it's just something different, man. So that's also another place. I want to see the world, man. Like I don't want to limit myself to like, I don't want to say one place, you know what I mean? I want to like experience like different stuff. But if I had to like pick one place, Tokyo, man.
Tokyo.
Yes, sir.
Cool. What kind of music do you listen to while shooting?
Music while I'm shooting. Nujabes. Yes. Nujabes. Just something like soothing or whatever. I suppose like you can listen to like, I wouldn't really say you can listen to him like at all times, but I seem to like listen to him like pretty much a lot of the times. It just gets me into like that kind of mood and stuff.
Is Nujabes he made beats right from Japan and he died?
Yes,
like,
he died like
like a car crash or
something like that. Yeah, car crash like in 06 or something. God bless, man.
Pretty talented dude. Yeah.
So Nujabes, obviously I'm into like my New York music, that underground stuff like Rock Marsh and stuff. You know what I mean? Brownsville music. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Brownsville, like Sean Price, MOP, that sort of stuff, man. But what I'm shooting, just Nujabes, man. Nujabes and maybe like a little bit of other stuff. Something soothing, man. You know what I mean? Like.
I think you mentioned to me before how if you have the wrong sort of music, then you wind up approaching people the wrong way.
Yeah.
You gotta like, I think you gotta remain in like sort of a relaxed state of mind where you're open to different ideas and you can be able to snap and connect with the city.
My approach on like Well, my approach in like approaching people is kind of usually I kind of just show them like what I do first, so they get like some sort of idea of like who I am, like what I'm, like what I want from them or something, and then like by just showing them like what I do, basically like my photography or my Instagram and stuff like that, and that usually like tends to work.
Because I think transparency is really important.
Word.
Yeah, definitely in like this day and age where people maybe aren't as trusting of like photographers and stuff like that. Do you rooftop at all? What do you think of like rooftoping in general? And like,
I'm more of a street dude, man.
Yeah.
I like being on the street, but I mean, I don't hate that. Like, I like that too. Like, I mean, I appreciate like all forms of like photography, but I do appreciate like just being on the street though, mostly.
So in terms of photography, do you prefer to shoot solo or with a group?
You know what? I actually prefer like shooting solo because I suppose like I get better photos while shooting solo because I'm not distracted like talking to other people or stuff like that. But I also do like shooting with people. I like the whole vibe, like just going out and like just having a good time, and not always being about like how good the photo is, but more about like the friends you make and stuff like that, and new people, just like meeting new people in general and stuff like that. Yeah, like it's more about that too.
Are there any sort of brands or companies that you're looking forward to work with or you'd want to work with if you have the opportunity?
Nike. Damn.
Nike's a big one, man. If I go out with Nike, that'd be...
Who wouldn't, man?
Yeah.
Like Nike, that would be dope.
Yeah. They helped out a lot of people, man, from what I see, man, in terms of like sponsorships and stuff like that,
Definitely, man. I mean, I think I've worked with like some pretty big companies and stuff, like Sony and Apple and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Nike's just Nike, bro. Like,
there's so much behind the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nike and in terms of photography, like I've worked with other companies like from a designer's like perspective, like like companies like Ecko and Supreme and Mishka and stuff like that. But if I could work with like some of those companies as a photographer, rather than like a designer, that would be dope too. Like if I could work with like Supreme, Stussy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, man. That would be really dope.
How in terms of photography, for instance, do you prefer film or do you prefer digital?
Well, based on like the work I do, I'd have to like rely on digital more.
Yeah.
But if I didn't, like if it's for personal use, I definitely do like the film look a lot better than I do like the digital look. I just like the whole I sort of like grew up to that. That's what I seen like growing up and stuff. So if I had to like pick, if it wasn't most companies you work with nowadays, they expect you to shoot with digital because obviously it's a lot easier and stuff like that, and like post-processing and all this sort of stuff is like it's all computerized and stuff, you know what I mean?
How do you feel sort of the newer age photographers? What's the main difference between these newer photographers and the older ones? Like, what do you think's like?
Well, I think everyone starts off the same, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure like the old school photographers weren't as good as they were like at the end or whatever, or when they got like at the in their prime or something. So I mean, we need that chance too, man. That's what we need. Like we need time to like develop our skills and stuff. So you know what I mean? So you never know. Like that's the thing with photography. So maybe in like 50 years or 70 years or whatever, people could look back at some of us and like be like, oh, that guy was like a really great photographer. The same way we do, like we look back at people like Gordon Parks and stuff.
So
and then Bruce Davidson and all these people.
Yeah, would you say maybe the legacy? Would you say the legacy matters to you more than the money, or would you say is it the legacy that you want to create for yourself?
That's definitely one of the that's definitely one of the cases. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't want no money. Like I'll just be lying, bro. Like of course I want to make money from it. Like who doesn't? You know what I mean? Like we all want to make a living from what we love doing. So, but I definitely do want a legacy too.
Yeah, I think the legacy definitely helps to define you. From start to finish, and it's Yeah, man. There is
Man, I'm
definitely
gonna say they both matter, man.
there's definitely a fine balance between the two.
Word, man, word, definitely. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you give any more sort of advice to new photographers at all?
Hey, man, like, best advice I can probably give is just don't give up. Best way I learned is like just going out and like just trial and error. I mean, it wouldn't work one day, and like I'd go back home and go see like what I did wrong, and then go back out the next day and try to figure out like that's probably like the best way you can learn, man. You know what I mean? And just not giving up is probably like the best advice I can definitely give.
Yeah. What do you edit with?
I post process for that Lightroom currently.
Yeah. Anything else you use?
Just Lightroom. I'm not really a fan of like using Photoshop. I mean,
I feel like it's a bit, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit limiting for myself, and I don't know, I've got much more familiar with Lightroom. For Photoshop, it's more of like a workhorse that you'd use for like editorial magazines, stuff like that. Yeah. Lightroom is literally just a light and focusing on the structure of things and how it works. It's not so much manipulating the image as it is you're creating a vision.
That's what I believe in. I believe in like enhancing the photo as a photographer. I mean, that's rather than like manipulating a picture through Photoshop. I just,
Is for your photography, would you say escapism is a big part of your photography, or do you prefer to sort of like let's say for your editing or how you shoot, do you prefer to sort of ground yourself in what would be like reality in terms of like editing, or do you prefer to sort of like create something where people can escape through in terms of their photography?
I mean, I want to do both, but if I had to pick one, I just want people to like relate to my sort of stuff. Like when they look at some of my photos, maybe they see like some dude having a bad day, and like they can sort of like relate to that. Just keeping it real. And
as it's being part of a street photographer. Yeah.
Yes, like I just want people to like relate to my stuff, or like relate to whoever like they're looking at. Like the subject, like whoever that might be.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any sort of like crazy photography stories? Any crazy things that's ever happened to you? Anyone ever like trying to attack you when you're taking a picture or some shit like that?
That definitely comes with the job, man. Like that tends to happen like quite often.
Oh, what's something that happens to you, or?
The worst thing that happened to me was probably I took a picture of a little kid.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know how old he was. He was maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I think his older brother or something saw me. Oh. He was also like pretty young.
Oh yeah.
Like 14, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
And this dude like legit followed me home for like half an hour. Like he would like hide behind like bushes and stuff like that. And I could clearly see the dude like he was following me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man.
Where was the kid's mama? Like what happened?
I don't know, but like his older brother just kept following me for like till I reach home, man. Like you know what I mean? And then had to like have a conversation with him and like reassure him that it wasn't for like some crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
But yeah, man. Like we said, transparency. It's important, you know.
Word, man. Most def.
Yeah, that's all I needed to ask you. Thanks for being on the show.
Appreciate for having me, man. Thank you.
Mosesinss, Infamous.sevens. You got anything you wanted to share or comment? Then just put it down in the comment section below, and we'll try to get back to you. Thanks for listening.